You want to be more creative with your golf game and simply improve your iron play. Hi everybody, we are at Cottonwood Golf and Country Club near Calgary. I'm very pleased to be joined by Golf Academy instructor and Golf Town ambassador Bob Mcarthur, and Bob has some great drills to help you improve your irons.
Okay everyone, we're going to do a couple little drills here to work on your trajectory, both the high and the low. We're going to start with the low, which has to do with your setup mainly in either case. So for a standard shot, we'll have the ball position roughly the width of a club head inside the front heel. To hit it low, we're going to move the ball back in the stance, and that will make the shaft lean forward and deal off the face. So this is what the setup will look like to hit a low shot. Okay, so we've covered the low one. Now we're going to address the high shot. If you need to hit it higher, say over a tree or something like that, we're going to do the opposite of the low one. So instead of the ball back for a low one and the shaft forward, we're going to move the ball's position a little more forward than standard. And as you can see, the shaft will look like it's leaning back more like so versus being in front. Okay, we're going to get a little creative now. We're going to hit some draws and fade. A draw for a right-handed golfer goes right to left, and a fade would go left to right. To hit a draw, you have to understand that the club face has got to be in a closed position through the ball. So we're going to just close the face. You can be pretty dramatic here if you're trying this for the first time, and then take your normal grip. And you just swing normally. That ball will curve right to left. All right, so contrary to the hook with a closed face, now to hit a fade, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to open the face. That ball will curve left to right because the face will be open to its pass, so then therefore you'd have to aim a little to the left to allow for the curve. Okay, so all the time, you're not going to have a dead flat line in the golf course. You may have some uphill lies and some downhill lies. You can just take a golf club or alignment stick and even do this at home or in front of a mirror to see what's happening with your shoulder tilt. So on an uphill lie, we want to have the shoulders going up, matching the slope of the hill. On the downhill lie, it's just the opposite. You want to feel that left shoulder down or that front shoulder down more, so that this is on a downhill lie. You can see the tilt of my shoulders. So once you get in a mirror, you'll be able to see and also feel that. So a lot of times you might end up in the rough and your ball's not in a good lie. It might be sitting down or in long grass, and you've kind of got to dig it out. So how do we do that? What you're trying to do is get a little more weight set on your front side, and on the takeaway, instead of going around so much, we're just going to get that club to work a little more vertical, more up to down. Just a matter of leaning a little to the front foot. We just want to rehearse that, and then that way you can take that to the golf course and actually put it into play. Okay, let's take that practice on the range, working on trajectory, both high and low. To the golf course, you may be into the wind and be forced to hit a low shot. So with a low shot, there's two factors. Remember, what we're trying to do is play the ball a little bit more back in the stance, and that's going to get the shaft leaning more forward in your setup versus a stock setup here. So we've covered the low one. Now we're going to talk about the high one, which is a little bit opposite of the low one. So with regards to ball position, instead of it normal, we're actually going to move it up. And when we do that, you'll see how the shaft moves a little bit back here. So now to hit a draw or fade, as we did on the range practicing it. So let's talk about the draw first. So I'm going to actually close the face and then take my normal grip. When I do that, that ball's going to curve right to left. So now I would just adjust my aim more to the right. So now we're going to hit a fade, which is just the opposite of a draw. So instead of closing the face, we're now going to open the face and then just take my normal grip. Okay, so now we're going to talk about uphill and downhill lies here. So we're going to tackle the uphill lie first. The whole key here on hilly lies is to try to match your shoulders to the slope of the hill. So if you're uphill, we don't want to feel like we're dipping into the hill. We're actually trying to tilt the shoulders to the slope of the hill. This ball's going to come out higher. The hill is going to produce that trajectory. So moving now to the downhill lie, it's just the opposite of the uphill lie. Because the hill is sloped this way, we're trying to get our shoulders tilted down to match the slope like so. This ball is going to come out lower versus the uphill one that would come out higher. Take some of these tips and drills that we've shown you from the range, put them into play in the golf course. They're a little abnormal, off the beaten track, but you'll be a lot more creative and be able to do a lot more things to help you score better.